Hey James, a big fan of
Hey, Jeffrey, how
yours.
are you?
I'm doing just fine. I'm doing just fine. Thank you for your time. You
Oh,
know,
absolutely. No worries.
excellent. Yeah, with Albert's Flower, it's such an intimate and emotional story. And how did you connect with that character on such a personal level?
I think I I think we all, I mean, well, as an actor, obviously I gravitate toward those roles that speak to me. And I thought Albert's character was so interesting and intriguing and intriguing in the fact that he he's looking for not so much redemption, but he's looking for resolution to some trauma from his past. And I think we all at some point or another deal with that in different varying degrees. But I think in Albert's case, it took going back to the place where the trauma started and then trying to fix something that is long overdue. And obviously with the whether she knew it or not, with the help of Greta, they are able to she's basically able to give him permission to say, okay, whatever that's going to be for you, okay, I'm here. And the actress Ailish Cahill was just so wonderful, and she said so much without speaking a word. And I just thought her performance was just masterful in how she did that. And I was really honored to share the screen with her. But yeah, it's about. I think we put it in a synopsis. It's about the flowers that go unattended in our lives, and how we deal with those moving forward and finding closure or whatever closure looks like for you with that particular kind of situation and circumstance.
Yeah, I really like the title. Now that you mention it, it's very intriguing. It's very symbolic.
Mm.
And the story, it feels very universal. You have forgiveness, memory,
Yeah,
rediscovery.
yeah,
It checks all the boxes, really.
yeah.
What kind of conversations do you hope that it sparks among viewers? Because I think that this film has something to say for everyone.
Oh wow, thank you. I think for I hope the takeaway with audiences is that, well, first of all, the past is not the past. It isn't. It's not dead. And we deal with it in ways that either help you heal or help you celebrate, but or help you engage memory that has been buried, and hopefully find within that some way to heal yourself,
Yeah.
forgive yourself, forgive others, or on the flip side, um, um, deal with something. I like to think of it in the end of the film, and as we see Albert walks toward Day Day. What is he gonna do?
Yeah.
So there's that blank that has to be filled. I think, which is what's so intriguing about the ending of this brilliant and Peter Piotrowski, who wrote this piece, actually as a play. It was not intended to be filmed, and I thought it. I just had the idea. I said it should be filmed, and that's how this thing came to be. But it was brilliant how he leaves us wondering what resolution, what does it look like for each individual. And so we were left wondering, I think every viewer, as Albert takes that walk towards Day Day, will go over in their head, what would I do? what
Yeah.
what would I do? And I think that's the brilliance of what Peter wrote and stuff. And I'd like to ask him. Hopefully I'll meet him at the screening at the festival, and see, is some of that fueled by, was it somewhat biographical or what? But he did a wonderful job in writing that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. The films that I enjoy the most are the ones that provoke any sort of emotion. So
Yeah,
and this is no exception. I love things that make me feel. And this film did that for me. And
thank you very much.
kind of piggybacking off of that though, and then something you said, which I love that you said it. You said before that you loved this script immediately and
Yeah,
saw its cinematic potential, which I think is fantastic that you saw that potential because of which, a lot of people get to see it, more people get to see it. You
Yeah,
know, it does feel like a play, but at the same time, it really worked as this medium.
yeah,
What
yeah.
what made you think that, or like what made you think, like, as you're reading
Wow.
the script,
Wow.
this needs to
Mhm.
be a film?
Well, it's a really good question, Jesse. Yeah, when it was brought to me by the director, James Glossman, the intent was they wanted to use this as a fundraising vehicle for a lot of those smaller regional theaters that had been hit really hard by COVID. I had actually been involved with something similar at the beginning of COVID, where a dear friend of mine was asking celebrities to video short stories or original stories or scripting something from a play or whatever
Mhm.
and videotaping, and then he put them together and he would screen them at these theaters during fundraising activities and trying to help these smaller theaters stay alive. And so that was James' intent when he brought this script to me and he said, "See what you think, Jim." And after about the first 5 or 6 pages, and I mean, and it was so automatic. I said, "No, this is a film." I said, "Yeah, I could see it as a play, but yeah, and there's potential there, but sitting an hour and a half to watch how it plays out as a play, but to take it as a film, and I think it was, for me, it was much richer, it was much more layered as a film because it was it we described it as like a piece of chamber music. If you ever watched a chamber orchestra, it's maybe four pieces or three. You got a cello and you got some violins and a viola, and you got this chamber piece. Well, this film spoke to me as a chamber piece. These two actors, or these two people who coming together in a very intimate setting, and they basically come together in a way that the Greta character finally gives Albert permission. She gives him permission. She listens to him. She
Mhm.
listens to his story, how that house affected him, and it was not all dire and sad. He makes sure that he says there are things about this house and this neighborhood that were joyous for me, and there are memories here that I take. But those are the things that make up the how we resolve things. It's not just one way. It's both in coming together, the joy of it, the celebration, and also the pain and the resolution come together and do it in a compressed way. And I thought, what a better way to do it than in a short film. I could tell the story in 20 minutes. And
Yeah.
we went about doing that, and I had a great production staff and film crew. The way they shot it and the way it was lit and stuff, it just really lent itself to telling that story of these two people and how they came together by this set of circumstances, and how she the Greta character I thought was so brilliant with Ailish playing it, and so powerful in the way she said without talking, her expressions and stuff. It's just really a masterful piece of acting, and I think it all lend itself to what I said. This is a film.
Yeah.
It is a film. Yeah.
Well, you're making this easy because I loved that answer. That was so fantastic. And
Thanks.
I like what you said about kind of like the production side of it as well, which with this film, Albert's Flower, this is the first film from your production company, Bay Springs
Yes.
Productions, which is really cool. What
Thank you.
inspired you to take that step into producing your own stories?
Well, just like I said, I wanted to tell stories that spoke to me.
Yeah.
I've been fortunate as an actor to be involved in some amazing projects over the years, whether it was film, TV, or on the stage. And I think where we are now, culturally, socially, politically. There's a rich trough of stories out there that can be told, and I wanted to tell stories that spoke to me as an African American, spoke to me as where we are, and navigating the political and social landscape. Stories that speak to gender and how we look at ourselves, and for lack of a better term, the labels that people take on or give us, and how it affects us. The stories that shape us as a society, whether we want to or not. And those are the things I want to tell. And when with the company, I thought, what a better vehicle to start and kind of introduce our company than something that's intimate and smart, and it tells a wonderful story, than Albert's Flower.
Yeah.
And so it was pretty much a no-brainer for my partner and I. Say, this is the one we should kind of say, hey, we're here and we're ready to tell some great stories.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly what I get whenever the press release came across my table. I was like, this is definitely one to springboard with, and
Thank you.
so I couldn't agree more. Keeping that in mind, though, wearing multiple hats on this film,
Mhm.
was there anything that because of which was there anything that was more rewarding or even challenging, kind of seeing this project through?
I think the seeing it through, seeing it get done. I mean, basically that's what a producer's job is to get it done. And the fact that we were able to get it done, obviously with the help of some really really talented people, I was very satisfied by that process. The acting and stuff, that takes care of itself. It's all there on the page. And if you're an actor worth your salt, it's there. All you have to do is let that story come out of you. And so that was not difficult, but the challenge was making it come together, and what hopefully the audiences come away with is something that we'll be very gratified by. So yeah, I think just seeing it come to fruition, I think that was challenging, but it was also very very rewarding.
Yeah, yeah. And also it kind of felt like, kind of taking on this new role or like kind of
Mhm,
wearing multiple hats.
mhm.
It almost felt like a sense of closure or even like rebirth, kind
Yeah,
of like mimicking almost the film Albert's Flower. Was
yeah.
making this film, was it cathartic for you in any way?
I don't know if cathartic is the right word, but from a purely pragmatic standpoint, I think Graves has been an incredible ride. At some point we'll ride off into the sunset. I don't know when. If left up to ABC, we'll be in wheelchairs by the time this thing is done. But um, I wanted to have another tool in the toolkit. And directing in something was something that never really sparked an interest in me, but telling stories and finding stories, I think even more so, finding stories that I wanted to tell was something that was intriguing and compelling for me, and that's why I thought the producing route would be something I would be really interested in. Obviously, being a part of this incredible show for all these years gives me a platform. Folks will want to take a meeting. They want to
Yeah.
say, "Oh, what do you have?" And so it's a perfect opportunity to use that in a way that if I can get something, I can get somebody on board to say, "Yeah, we want to tell that with you." Then more power to them. And I think that's the exciting part of this next journey for me.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, James, or can I call you Jim? Is that okay?
Jim is fine, sure.
Excellent, excellent. Well,
Mhm.
Jim, I want to wrap up there. I think that this was fantastic, man, and I'm truly a huge fan. I love
Well, thank you so much.
and this what you said there as far as like, and I know I said it earlier, but using this project to kind of springboard, your production company, I think was an amazing decision because this
Thank
one
you so much.
has so much range. And
Thank you.
to kind of close it out, Jim, here at CineDump, we let the doers know how they're doing, and you are doing just fine. I truly appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time.
Jesse, thank you so much. I appreciate you. You were very gracious. I appreciate you. Thank
Thank
you
you so
much.
much.